So a couple of days ago, I put out a video discussing that Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to have single-player DLC. Essentially, Rockstar was going to be repurposing the plans they had for the single-player DLC for Grand Theft Auto 5, which was going to be a thing until GTA Online absolutely exploded. They scrapped those plans, and then they were going to repurpose those for Grand Theft Auto 6 once that game officially came out. Hence the whole concept and idea of an expanding and ever constantly evolving single-player map. While it sounded amazing, it also sounded a little too good to be true, especially when you take into account that Rockstar's main focus essentially has been GTA Online, because that has been a massive moneymaker for them. And with them focusing so much on quote-unquote single-player content, it generated the question of whether that DLC and the map expanding would be free or not. Then you have the studio potentially being split in half to ensure the single-player content is up to par to the multiplayer content, meaning they're ultimately taking a risk. They know that whatever version they have for GTA Online for GTA 6 is probably going to be massively successful and a major revenue generator, versus single-player content could be hit and miss. Or it could be massive in its own right, but nowhere near to the level of success, financially speaking, as a multiplayer aspect. And I bring this up because PlayStation Universe put out an article discussing that Grand Theft Auto 6 will feature single-player DLC, hence the expanding map that I just mentioned. Then we have a user by the name of Legacy Killer HD who claims to not expect any form of single-player DLC, that the primary focus post-launch for Grand Theft Auto 6 is the online component of that game, and that extensive work is being done on it to a level that wasn't seen with Red Dead Redemption 2 Online or even Grand Theft Auto 5 and the multiplayer that game had going on, which is crazy to say because GTA Online was a vision that Rockstar had all the way back in the days of Grand Theft Auto 3. They tried to make it a reality with Grand Theft Auto 4's multiplayer. They got a little closer to it, but obviously GTA Online was what they've been envisioning for the last 20 years. It's a marvel, it's a beast, and to say GTA 6 is going to have a multiplayer component that is going to completely dwarf GTA Online is insane. I mean, I doubt it's going to have that level of content or success at launch, but 2, 3, maybe even 6 months to a year down the line, if that game is at the level that GTA Online was at 2 years after its launch, that means within a couple of months, this game would have an insane amount of things to do. Heists, new vehicles, new weapons, forming your own gangs, criminal enterprises, stuff like that could already be implemented into the game, at least on a basic level. And that would make sense because Rockstar obviously has years of experience with GTA Online, and to a lesser extent, a little experience with the quote-unquote failure that was Red Dead Redemption Online, which they obviously basically just let die. I mean, personally speaking, it does make more sense for them to focus more on that, since obviously this, at the end of the day, is a business. They want to generate as much revenue as possible, and the whole single player DLC aspect I just didn't see really working, unless they do similar to Ballad of Gay Tony and A Lost and Damned, where they just say, hey, for an additional 15 to 20 bucks you get an extra city with some new characters. That I can see, but just randomly for free through an update and the map expanding, I don't see Rockstar being that generous. But whatever they do, I just hope the multiplayer aspect, they don't repeat what they did with Red Dead Online, where they basically threw out a form of currency, you know, microtransactions, where you can use real life money to basically expedite the process and buy stuff, even though they weren't putting out content. You know, they implemented gold bars before they even added in more missions. They were very much focused on the bottom line, which I think horribly tainted the experience for a lot of players, myself included. But let me know what you guys think. What are you guys' hopes for Grand Theft Auto 6? Do you believe the whole single player DLC concept, or do you think they really will focus primarily on the multiplayer component?